Chosen one, stop right there. Before you scroll away, before you let this moment disappear into the noise, you need to understand something. This is not random, and what is coming for your life is moving faster than your fear can keep up with. You did not land here by accident. Something has been pressing on your spirit for days, maybe weeks. That strange feeling that something is shifting behind the scenes, that your peace has been interrupted, that the silence around you is not empty, it is loaded. And yes, this is about you. You have been feeling it, haven't you? The exhaustion that sleep does not fix, the heaviness that nobody around you seems to notice, the betrayal that changed the way you trust, the closed doors that made you question your own path, the lonely hours where it felt like heaven went quiet. But heaven did not go quiet. Heaven was watching. And right now, you are standing at a point in your life where what happens next will not be ordinary. Something massive is coming, and it is not coming to everybody. It is coming to the ones who have been stripped, tested, delayed, misunderstood, and pressed until only the real version of them remained. That is why this message feels so intense, because your spirit already knows. You are not being punished. You are not being forgotten. You are not being overlooked. You are being prepared for a moment that will expose everything that was hidden. And listen carefully, because this is where it gets dangerous for the old version of your life. The confusion you have been carrying did not appear by chance. The attacks on your mind, the strange resistance, the emotional chaos, the unexplainable delays, those were not just bad luck. There has been a pattern around you, a pressure, a spiritual disruption meant to make you doubt what you were sent here to do. But the very thing trying to break you has been revealing you. It has been showing what can no longer stay attached to your destiny. It has been exposing who was never for you. It has been separating your calling from your comfort. It has been forcing you to become harder to manipulate, harder to distract, harder to silence. That is why everything feels so intense right now. Because something is about to arrive that will confirm what your soul has known all along. A door is opening. A truth is surfacing. A connection is ending. A revelation is closing in. And you will not be able to call this coincidence after it happens. You have been in a season where people misunderstood your silence as weakness. They saw the pause and thought it was defeat. They saw the waiting and thought you were stuck. They saw the tears and thought you were losing. They were wrong. You were being preserved. You were being preserved. You were being protected from the wrong timing, the wrong room, the wrong people, the wrong outcome. Some things had to fall apart because they were built to keep you small. Some relationships had to crack because they could not survive the version of you that is waking up now. Some delays had to happen because if you had moved when your emotions told you to move, you would have missed the assignment completely. And that is the hidden mercy in all of it. The pain was not proof of abandonment. The pressure was not proof of failure. The isolation was not proof that you were cursed. It was proof that something deeper was happening in you, because chosen ones are never just prepared in comfort. They are forged in tension. They are refined in silence. They are called forward through the very things that tried to consume them. And now the atmosphere around your life is changing. You may not have the words for it yet, but you can feel the edge of it. That strange restlessness, that sudden urge to walk away from what no longer feels aligned, that awareness that certain people cannot come with you where you are going, that hunger for truth, that frustration with anything fake, shallow or delayed. That is not confusion, that is awakening. Something is happening around you right now that your old mind cannot explain, but your spirit can feel in the bones, the conversations you overhear, the delays that save you, the things that do not work out, the endings that come without warning, the inner warning that keeps telling you, not there, not now, not them. Do not ignore that voice. It has been right more than you realize, because the season ahead is not built for the distracted version of you. It is built for the version that learned how to survive the dark without becoming it. The version that still believes after disappointment. The version that kept moving when no one clapped. The version that had every reason to give up and still did not. That version of you is about to be tested one more time. And this time, the test is not about whether you can endure pain. It is about whether you can recognize the arrival of your breakthrough while it is still disguised as pressure. That is why you must stay awake. That is why you must not let anyone talk you out of what you know. That is why you must not return to what already drained you. That is why you must not confuse temporary silence with permanent denial. What is coming will demand discernment. It will demand courage. It will demand that you trust what has been forming in the hidden place. And yes, I need you to listen to this carefully, because if this message is resonating, comment one word right now, ready, like this video, subscribe. Not because of me, because something in you is recognizing that this is your moment to stop doubting what heaven has been trying to get your attention with. Because once you see what is moving toward your life, you will understand why everything had to happen the way it did. The disappointment was not random. The betrayal was not random. The delay was not random. The lowly was not random. The loneliness was not random. The pressure was not random. All of it has been converging into this one threshold. And the people who walked away from you too soon, they may have thought they were leaving your life, but they were actually leaving the room before the revelation came. They could not carry what was coming. They could not handle the weight of your next season. They could not understand the level you were being pulled into. You were being set apart. You were being set apart. And in that separation, something sacred is happening. Your spirit is learning how to hear above the noise. Your heart is learning how to stop pleading with what is already gone. Your mind is learning how to recognize peace as power. Your soul is learning that not every loss is a loss. Some things leave so that prophecy can enter. Some people disappear so your path can become clear. Some storms arrive only to force the old structure to collapse before the new one can rise. And you are in that rise. Do not be deceived by the middle of the process. It always looks quieter than the promise. It always feels harsher than the outcome. It always seems like nothing is happening right before everything changes. But I need you to hear this as if your future is speaking directly through these words. Something massive is coming, and it is already closer than you think. It will not arrive with the permission of those who doubted you. It will not wait for the approval of those who misunderstood you. It will not slow down because your fear is still catching up. It is coming anyway. And when it lands, the same people who ignored the warning will be asking how you knew. The same voices that questioned you will be stunned by your peace. The same darkness that tried to bury you will be forced to watch you rise in full view. That is the mystery. That is the reversal. That is the moment heaven has been preparing you for. So hold steady now. Do not panic when the pressure increases. Do not retreat when the truth gets louder. Do not fold when the old life tries one last time to pull you back. Do not mistake the shaking for the end. Sometimes heaven shakes everything that cannot survive your next level. And what survives that shaking is not weak. It is ordained. You are not hearing this because you are broken. You are hearing this because you are chosen. And the reason it feels so personal is because it is. This is the kind of message that finds you in the middle of your private war and quietly tells you that the war is almost over. Not because the battle was small, but because you were never meant to stay in it forever. You were meant to pass through it, to emerge from it, to carry the lesson without carrying the wound, to step into the next chapter with eyes open and heart no longer easily fooled. So breathe, stay alert, stay grounded, stay ready, because the thing you have been waiting to understand is about to reveal itself in a way you cannot ignore, and when it does, you will remember this moment. You will remember that the warning came before the breakthrough. You will remember that the pressure came before the opening. You will remember that heaven sent the signal before the shift. And you will know, without question, that this was never just a video. This was your interruption. This was your redirection. This was the moment the hidden began to move. Something massive is coming, and heaven wanted you to be the first to hear it. And now the deeper part begins. Because once the warning is delivered, the next thing that happens is always the same. The atmosphere starts to move. The weight you have been carrying begins to shift in ways you cannot explain yet. The people who were silent start to reveal themselves. The things you were unsure about start to become painfully clear. The hidden pressure around your life starts to tighten one last time before it breaks. That is how these moments work. They do not announce themselves with fireworks. They come with discomfort, with insomnia, with strange thoughts, with sudden clarity, with an ache in your chest that says, "Pay attention now." You have been asking for signs. You have been asking for direction. You have been asking for something, anything, to show you that you are not imagining all of this. And the truth is, the signs have already been around you, in the repeated delays, in the unexpected endings, in the doors that refused to open no matter how hard you pushed, in the people who only showed their true nature after you needed them most, in the moments where your peace disappeared the second you ignored your intuition. That was not random resistance, that was revelation, because sometimes the very thing you call delay is actually divine protection in disguise. Sometimes the thing you call loss is the mercy that saved you from entering a season your soul was not meant to survive. Sometimes the thing that hurt you most is the very thing that forced you to wake up. And you are waking up now, slowly at first, then all at once. That is why the same things that used to comfort you no longer fit. That is why the old conversations feel heavy now. That is why the old environment feels tighter. That is why the old version of you cannot keep pretending everything is fine. It is not fine. It is transforming. And transformation does not feel soft while it is happening. It feels like losing control. It feels like being misunderstood. It feels like standing in the middle of a storm with no one else able to see the map you are holding inside your spirit. But the map is there, and it has been there all along. You are not lost. You are being led. Even if you cannot see the full path yet, there is a reason the pull inside you keeps getting stronger. There is a reason you cannot settle back into the life you used to tolerate. There is a reason the old distractions are losing their power over you. You are being called higher, and part of you already knows it. That is why this message hits so deep, because it speaks to the part of you that has been quietly preparing for a shift no one else could understand. You do not need to force what is already ordained. You do not need to chase what was never meant to outrun you. You do not need to beg for access to what has already been marked for your season. The thing that belongs to you will not need to be manipulated into existence. It will arrive with alignment, with timing, with unmistakable force. And when it arrives, you will see why the attack was so intense, because the enemy does not waste energy on what is not dangerous to the darkness. He only targets what carries weight, what carries vision, what carries destiny, what carries impact. That is why your life has felt like it has been under pressure from every direction. Not because you are weak, because you are significant. Because there is something in you that threatens everything built on deception, delay, and spiritual numbness. There is a calling on your life that cannot be mimicked. There is a future on your name that cannot be erased. There is a level you were born to reach that will make sense of every painful chapter once you finally stand in it. And the closer you get, the more obvious the resistance becomes. People may not say it out loud, but you can feel it. The shift in tone, the strange distance, the unexplained tension, the energy that changes when you speak your truth, the discomfort your growth creates in places that benefited from your silence. That is not an accident. When you start becoming who you were sent here to be, everything around you either aligns or exposes itself. And some things are about to be exposed. Not to shame you, not to destroy you, but to free you from the kind of blindness that only pain can remove. Because you cannot carry new oil in an old wound forever. You cannot keep calling dead weight destiny. You cannot keep blessing what keeps breaking you. You cannot keep feeding what was assigned to drain you. At some point, awakening demands a decision, and your decision is arriving now. The same life that once felt familiar no longer feels safe. The same habits that once numbed you no longer satisfy. The same people that once had access now feel energetically off. The same path that once looked acceptable now feels like a trap. That is your spirit refusing to stay asleep. And I need you to understand something very clearly. This discomfort is not the end of your peace. It is the beginning of your discernment. It is the crack in the surface that lets the truth in. It is the holy interruption that keeps you from calling a prison home. So do not rush to silence this feeling. Do not medicate yourself out of the message. Do not confuse numbness with healing. Feel it. Let it reveal what it came to reveal. Because the more honest you become with yourself, the faster the old cycle loses its grip. And that is what is happening now. A cycle is ending, a long one you thought might follow you forever. One that kept repeating betrayal, confusion, hope, disappointment, silence, over and over until you almost believed that was all life had planned for you. It was never the full story. It was only the chapter that taught you how to recognize what cannot enter with you into the next one. That is why your current discomfort has such a sharp spiritual edge. You are not simply unhappy. You are being extracted from old patterns, extracted from emotional dependency, extracted from the need to be understood by people committed to misunderstanding you, extracted from the version of yourself that kept shrinking to avoid being targeted. That version is ending, and something stronger is taking its place. Not louder, stronger, not reckless, steady, not desperate, certain. The kind of certainty that comes when pain has done its final work, and the soul no longer confuses survival with identity. This is where your power starts to return. Not all at once, not in a dramatic explosion, but in fragments. In the moment you say no without guilt. In the moment you stop explaining yourself to the wrong people. In the moment you trust the warning. In the moment you choose peace over proving a point. In the moment you realize that not every door that closes is a rejection. Some are mercy. Some are protection. Some are heaven saying, not this one, because what I have for you requires a different level of alignment. And that alignment is coming. You may feel like you are standing in the middle of unknown territory right now, but unknown is not the same as unsafe. Sometimes the unknown is simply the place where your next miracle is hiding. Sometimes the dark is not there to destroy you, but to force you to trust what your eyes cannot yet confirm. That is what makes this season so intense. Not because you are failing, because you are no longer able to live unconsciously. You see too much now, feel too much now, know too much now. And once awareness arrives, innocence leaves. That is painful, but it is also powerful. Because awareness changes your life from the inside out. It shows you what was always there. It teaches you what to release. It reveals who was sincere and who was performing. It uncovers the hidden motives. It makes the false unbearable. It makes the true undeniable. And once you cross that threshold, there is no going back. So keep going. Even if your steps are slow, even if your heart is tired, even if nobody understands the intensity you feel inside, you are not overreacting, you are perceiving. And perception is a gift when the world around you is filled with distraction, distortion, and delay. There is a reason your spirit is restless. There is a reason your body feels the shift before your mind can explain it. There is a reason the old life no longer fits. Because your destiny has outgrown your surroundings. Let that sink in. Your destiny has outgrown your surroundings. That is why everything feels like it is cracking at the edges. That is why your patience has been tested. That is why your prayers feel heavier. That is why your tears feel deeper. That is why the pressure has been so relentless. You are not being crushed. You are being compressed for release. And when something is compressed long enough, it does not disappear. It erupts, not in chaos, in purpose, not in confusion, in clarity, not in defeat, in authority. That is what is waiting on the other side of this moment. The pressure is not the prophecy. The pressure is the passage. And once you understand that, fear starts to lose its voice. So do not let what is leaving make you panic. Do not let what is hidden make you doubt. Do not let what is delayed make you despair. There is movement under the surface. There is purpose in the pause. There is power in the process. And there is something massive still coming toward you. It is coming with confirmation. It is coming with exposure. It is coming with correction. It is coming with grace. It is coming with power. And when it arrives, you will not have to force recognition. The shift will speak for itself. Until then, guard your peace. Guard your vision. Guard your spirit. Because the closer the promise gets, the more important it becomes to stay clear enough to receive it. And if you feel like this message is speaking directly into your private war, then this is not the time to retreat into silence. Comment, awake, like the video, subscribe, not as a performance, but as a declaration that you are refusing to sleep through the moment heaven has brought you to. Because this is the threshold, and thresholds are where old lives end. Thresholds are where hidden things become visible. Thresholds are where the chosen stop doubting their calling. Thresholds are where the broken become dangerous to the darkness. Thresholds are where the waiting ends and the revealing begins. You are not stuck. You are standing at the edge of something sacred. And the next time you feel that strange pressure in your spirit, remember this. It may not be fear. It may be the sound of your breakthrough arriving before the world is ready to call it by name. And this is the part nobody prepared you for. The moment right before everything changes often feels like everything is falling apart. That is why so many people walk away too early. That is why so many people abandon their purpose at the edge of breakthrough. That is why so many people return to familiar pain instead of stepping into unfamiliar destiny. Because the transition between who you were and who you are becoming is violent on the soul. It shakes your identity. It exposes your attachments. It forces you to confront the parts of yourself that survived by staying small. And lately, you have felt that shaking everywhere. In your thoughts, in your relationships, in your sleep, in your energy, in your emotions, in the strange distance growing between you and the life you used to recognize. You keep trying to explain it logically, but deep down you know this is deeper than logic. Something spiritual is happening around your life. And the reason it feels so lonely is because not everyone can hear what your spirit has already detected. You noticed the patterns before others did. You felt the energy shift before the situation changed. You sensed danger before the betrayal surfaced. You knew certain doors were wrong before they closed. That sensitivity is not weakness. It is discernment sharpened by survival. People laughed at your caution, questioned your instincts, called you emotional, said you think too deeply, said you isolate too much, said you are too intense. But what they called intensity was your spirit refusing to ignore what your soul already knew. You were seeing beneath surfaces, and that gift has cost you. Because once you begin seeing clearly, pretending becomes exhausting. That is why crowds drain you now. That is why fake conversations irritate you. That is why shallow connections leave you empty. That is why your tolerance for deception has disappeared. You are no longer built for environments that require you to betray yourself to belong. Read that again in your spirit. You are no longer built for environments that require you to betray yourself to belong. That season is ending, and the ending is not comfortable, because every transformation has a separation phase. A phase where things begin falling away before new things arrive. A phase where heaven removes support systems you depended on emotionally. A phase where your distractions stop working. A phase where you are forced to sit alone with yourself and finally hear what has been buried under the noise. That is the phase many people run from, but you stayed. Even when it hurt, even when it got quiet, even when you cried without knowing how to explain the heaviness, even when you questioned yourself, even when you felt abandoned, even when you wondered if you were losing your mind, you stayed. And because you stayed, something inside you survived that was never supposed to die, your vision. The enemy tried to exhaust it out of you. People tried to discourage it out of you. Disappointment tried to drain it out of you. Delay tried to confuse it out of you. But somehow, after everything, you still feel the pull. You still feel that whisper saying there is more. You still feel that ache telling you not to settle. You still feel that strange knowing that your life is connected to something bigger than what you've seen so far. That is not delusion. That is calling. And calling never leaves quietly. It follows you into dark seasons. It follows you through rejection. It follows you into empty rooms and sleepless nights. It waits for you beneath every failed attempt and every painful lesson. Because what is meant for your spirit cannot be erased by temporary suffering. But there is another reason this season has been so heavy. You have been grieving versions of yourself that can no longer survive where you are going. And that grief is real. The old you wanted everybody to understand. The old you wanted to save every relationship. The old you kept giving people access after they proved they mishandled your heart. The old you confused loyalty with self-abandonment. The old you kept waiting for people to become who they pretended to be. That version of you is fading now, painfully. Slowly, but permanently. And the new version of you? The new version sees patterns faster, protects peace differently, moves with discernment instead of desperation, understands silence, understands timing, understands that not everybody deserves access to your energy. That wisdom did not come cheaply. It came through betrayal, through disappointment, through nights where you felt emotionally crushed but still had to function, through moments where you smiled in public while privately fighting battles nobody knew existed, and heaven saw every second of it, every silent breakdown, every hidden tear, every prayer whispered in exhaustion, every moment you almost gave up but didn't. None of it was unseen. That is why what is coming carries such weight, because it is not just reward, it is restoration. Restoration of clarity, restoration of strength, restoration of identity, restoration of what life tried to strip from your spirit. But restoration arrives differently than people expect. Sometimes it begins with exposure. The mask falls, the truth surfaces, the hidden motive reveals itself. The thing you tried to excuse becomes undeniable. And yes, that part hurts. Because part of awakening is accepting that some people only loved the version of you that required less truth. But once you began waking up, once your discernment sharpened, once your boundaries strengthened, once your spirit stopped begging for crumbs, everything changed. The energy shifted, the tension increased, the distance became obvious. Because awakening disrupts every relationship built on unconscious patterns, and not everyone survives that disruption. That is why you cannot keep mourning what was only assigned to your previous season. Some people were temporary by design. Some connections existed only to teach you what your spirit can no longer tolerate. Some losses happened because your destiny refused to keep negotiating with your comfort zone. And you are feeling that tension right now between comfort and calling. One part of you wants familiarity. The other part of you knows familiarity is what almost destroyed your future. So now you stand in between worlds. Not fully who you were, not fully who you are becoming. And that space in between is sacred. Even if it feels uncomfortable, even if it feels confusing, even if it feels lonely, because identity is rebuilt in the in-between. That is where the false layers die. That is where your spirit becomes honest. That is where your intuition becomes louder than public opinion. That is where your dependence on external validation begins collapsing. And once that collapse happens, you become dangerous to manipulation. That is why this season has triggered so many hidden battles around you. The moment you stopped needing constant approval, certain people lost control over your emotions. The moment you began trusting your discernment, deception became weaker around you. The moment you stopped abandoning yourself to keep peace, the false structures started shaking, and they are still shaking now. You can feel it. The old life is fighting to survive. The old mindset is begging for attention. The old attachments are trying to pull you backward one final time, because transitions always trigger resistance before transformation fully manifests. But do not mistake resistance for failure. Resistance often means movement is already happening. The enemy attacks hardest when something is close, when the shift is near, when the breakthrough is approaching, when heaven is preparing to reveal what hell tried to bury. And you have survived too much to quit at the doorway. Do not retreat now, not after everything your soul endured to reach this threshold, not after every betrayal you survived. Not after every lonely season that strengthened your spirit in silence, not after every closed door that redirected your path, not after every night heaven kept you alive while your heart was breaking. You did not survive all of that just to return to smaller living. You survived because your purpose still breathes, and purpose has a sound. It sounds like restlessness in stagnant environments. It sounds like discomfort around fake energy. It sounds like a deep inner knowing that your current reality is not the final chapter. It sounds like the refusal to die in a place that no longer feeds your spirit. That sound has been growing louder inside you. That is why you cannot ignore this message, because part of you already recognizes it. Part of you already knows that the pressure around your life is connected to something larger unfolding behind the scenes. Part of you already senses that heaven has been rearranging things in ways your physical eyes cannot fully see yet. And when the reveal finally happens, It will happen suddenly. That is how divine shifts work. One moment everything feels delayed. The next moment the door opens, the answer arrives, the connection changes, the truth surfaces, the burden lifts, the opportunity appears, the breakthrough breaks through all at once. And everyone around you will think it happened overnight. But you will know the truth. You will know it was built in secret, built through endurance, built through tears, built through spiritual warfare nobody else witnessed. That is why your spirit cannot afford distraction right now. Protect your focus, protect your peace, protect your discernment, because what is approaching your life requires clarity to recognize. Not everything arriving will announce itself loudly. Some blessings enter quietly. Some miracles look ordinary at first. Some divine opportunities appear disguised as uncomfortable change. Stay awake enough to recognize them. And if this message is reaching into places nobody else understands, comment, "I'm ready." Like the video. Subscribe. Let this moment become a marker in your spirit that says you refuse to ignore the warning when heaven placed it directly in front of you. Because this is not just another emotional season. This is preparation. Preparation for the life you sensed before you ever saw it. Preparation for the shift your spirit has been aching toward. Preparation for the moment everything finally begins making sense. And when that moment comes, you will realize the waiting was not empty. It was building you into someone strong enough to carry what is finally on its way. And now, the final warning. Do not let temporary exhaustion make permanent decisions for your future. You're closer than you think. That is why the pressure increased. That is why the distractions multiplied. That is why the emotional weight became heavier right before the shift. Something in the unseen already knows what is approaching your life. And it is terrified that you will finally see yourself the way heaven sees you. Chosen one, hear this clearly before this message ends. You were never crazy for feeling different. You were never weak for feeling deeply. You were never abandoned in the silence. You were being separated from everything that could not enter your next season. One day, very soon, the confusion will break. The hidden truth will surface. The delayed answer will arrive. The reason for the waiting will finally become clear. And when it happens, you will realize this entire season was not destroying you. It was introducing you to the person you were always meant to become. So stay alert, stay guarded, stay spiritually awake, because something massive is coming toward your life right now, and deep down you can already feel it.